3 tips for making adjustments to suspension at the track. Tip number 1, don't touch it. Usually it's not the suspension's fault, it's your fault. Tip number 2, if you've addressed that and made sure and asked the Moto Academy that it's not your fault, then the next tip, actually, believe it or not, would be set your sag. Do you know how many people I ask, hey, have you ever checked the sag? Like, where are you at as far as riding level goes, ride height goes? And most people, I'm talking 9 out of 10 people, have not set their sag, and that could throw everything off. So set your sag, usually, and this changes for everybody depending on preference as well, but like, 103, 105, 110, somewhere in that range. If you check it and it's at like 125 mil or it's at 90, then you're probably not on the right track. So get that close. Tip number 3 for suspension would be maybe try going softer for once, because a lot of people go the opposite and they just go stiff, stiff, stiff. A lot of bikes that I get in at class are just too stiff. And their excuse is, oh, well, I'm 200 pounds, but yet they're a C-class rider, and I can look on their fork to see how much they're using, and they're using none of it. But tip number 1 is the important one there, and I would say a lot of times find the root of the problem. A lot of times fixing a suspension issue is putting a Band-Aid on the larger issue that is your potential lack of technique. Sorry. And that can apply for high-level riders as well. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.